Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, everybody. Morning. Back to the news. Yeah, back to the news. Honestly, today's like a big failure day, so to speak. We got fintech founder charged with fraud after AI shopping app found to be powered by humans in the Philippines. Rippling is trying to serve deal CEO, but bailiffs can't find him. I just pulled this up like a second ago, but I just think it's funny. And we covered the this on stream here, but and then this is old news, but I still just kind of want to cover it. How there's been kind of internal chaos behind series like failure, but I think it's more so transitioning that to actually make it useful and like integrate AI. And then gotta get the emerging tech. Some Neuralink competitors. Japan wags the finger at Google, and GPT 4.1, Meta versus FTC, or FTC versus Meta, and China accusing us of cyber attacks. So, busy stream. Oh, and the RTX 5060, which is, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's earnings week this week. Fuck, I forgot. Shit. Bro, is the whole stream full? Do we just have to do earnings week? Kidding. Who was yesterday? Oh yeah, Goldman Sachs. That's really all I wanted. No, I want to look at Applied Digital. No, is that who this was? Yeah, this is Applied Digital. Okay. I think. Is there? No. Okay, we're getting like. Okay, there we go. Okay, no, yeah, we're good. We just made Goldman Sachs, but I don't really care about. We're not gonna cover like bank earnings. It's like too out of scope here. We're more tech focused. No, we actually will look at airlines. I know they were more tech focused. Oh, JB Hunt might be an interesting one because they're logistics, trucking. I just want to look at some earnings that might be indicators of future economy, but there's really not much today. These are, yeah, most of these are after close. Oh, these are all before open, but they all did pretty good. I think banks are going to do good right now just because of bonds. I don't actually know why the banks are doing good. I watched a video on it yesterday, but Joseph Carlson, shout out. Let's see tomorrow though. No. Just see this week. Okay, Netflix. When is Netflix? Okay, well, there's Thursday, Friday. Netflix, Blackstone. We want to look at that. I guess we don't care about Charles Schwab, but I do own Charles Schwab, so I care about that. But yeah, maybe like United Airlines. Airlines are just interesting right now because I feel like with the tariffs and all this like immigration scare, airlines are getting hit. But also, just in general, airlines just don't make that much money, and so the market's kind of competitive in terms of like companies want to woo over customers, and so I'm curious what they have to say on that. There's really not that much this week. Let's check next week. Oh fuck, you guys can't even see. God damn it. I'm redoing my stream layout and I'll make sure that doesn't happen anymore. Okay, next week's the big one. Next week's earnings week. Google, Amazon, Tesla. Philip Morris, how are they still $250 billion company in tobacco? Okay, we got IBM, AT&T, Verizon. We actually looked at those last time around. RTX, government contractor, we'll definitely look at them probably. Nextera Energy, we looked at them before. We'll probably look at them because they're a big energy producer. So data center, AI stuff, Texas Instruments. Okay, next week's gonna be earnings week. Okay. And tomorrow we might take a look at a few, but there's not much this week. Okay. Let's start with the fake AI company. Fintech founder charged with fraud after AI shopping app found to be powered by humans in the Philippines. Yeah. Now, I feel like the problem is that, like, they told investors that it was like an AI company and shit. Like, that's probably the problem. Because having something that's automated, but then actually having something like a human behind the scenes do it, like, isn't new. Like, that's definitely been, discovered before. Or companies at least have been doing that before. But I think it's the AI. It's like, and I think there's probably a bigger narrative here of the investors valuing AI too much, so much so that if the idea doesn't involve AI, it's a bad idea. And so there's, incentives now for these founders. I mean, like, I shouldn't say incentive, but there is incentive to put AI in things that don't need AI, and that's already been the case. Like, and so, like, the fact that they just want AI, but, like, behind the scenes, if they would have just said that, like, hey, right now it's just a bunch of people and humans in the Philippines, like, doing it until, like, we get our product off the ground, blah blah blah, like, it's just proof of concept, like, I'm sure it would have been fine. But it's crazy that AI is valued that much by investors. I guess that's not necessarily the only angle here, but okay, let's read. Okay. Albert Saniger, the founder and former CEO of Nate, an AI shopping app that promised a universal checkout experience, was charged with defrauding investors on Wednesday, according to a press release from the U.S. Department of Justice. All right, let's look at Nate. It was going to be like Nate AI. If it's even exists, yeah, this is it. So it's, I don't understand what is it. Wait, what? I mean, like, the idea is cool. Like, you just share it, and then it buys, and it, like, autofills in your information. Like, yeah, I mean, it's cool, I guess. It's just ultra convenience. It's not even like it's like that's it, I guess. If you buy a lot of stuff, I could see this being useful. Or, like, gift a lot of stuff, I could see this being useful. Like, I see it more so to, like, marketing towards, like, professionals. Like what kind of professional needs to buy a lot of gifts or something, like, really quickly that are unique and tailored to a person. Like, I feel like that's who this is. Bro, like, you could totally just Bro, they went about this so wrong. I can't believe that that's actually what they did. They had Philippine humans in the Philippines. Like, I guess there has to be some sort of API or something, like some sort of other company that has built like the Plaid, you know, Plaid being like the in between. You've definitely used Plaid without realizing it, but yeah, it allows you to hook up bank accounts into other, like, they're just a middleman for bank accounts. So like you could just connect bank accounts like immediately, but they do all the work of like figuring out like what to do in between. There has to be that for e-commerce. And all they could, like, this is really, they're just the share, you know, the sharing part is like their actual, like, I mean, I guess they have these curated finds, but I don't know. Like, I feel like there had to have been a better way to make this. Founded in 2018. Okay, so this is like pre-big AI. 2017 was the big paper by Google that essentially created the like transformer architecture, which is like modern AI. So like this is only a year after that paper came out. Nate raised over $50 million from investors like Coatue and Forerunner Ventures, most recently raising a $38 million Series A in 2021, led by Renegade Partners. Bro, I literally turned my AC off. I'm getting hot already. It's so I get cold when it blows on me, and it's like constantly blowing on me. Oh, is my camera fine? I actually was messing with it. It's kind of crooked, but it's whatever. Mr. releasing 38 million Series A in 2021, led by Renegade Partners. Nate said its app's users could buy from an e-commerce site with a single click thanks to AI. In reality, however, Nate relied heavily on hundreds of human contractors in a call center in the Philippines to manually complete those purchases, the DOJ Southern District, New York alleges. Sanager raised millions in venture funding by claiming that Nate was able to transact online without human intervention, except for edge cases where the AI failed to complete a transaction. But despite Nate acquiring some AI technology and hiring data scientists, its app's actual automation rate was effectively 0%, the DOJ claims. That's crazy. Like, even like hiring data scientists, like, if I were to, like, I wonder what they did. Dang, wire fraud. That's crazy. Uh Nate's heavy usage of human contractors was the subject of an investigation by the Information in 2022. Bro, this entire company is like just it's crazy because like I'm sure like they're like, bro, like why stop running the app? Like oop. Bro, they have like sponsors and shit. Or like, you know, like influencer sponsoring. See, and it sucks because like it seems like it actually like they solve a problem. It's just like they just are like deceiving customers and investors, I guess. But realistically, as a customer, I don't think like the people who are using this don't care about like if it's AI or behind the scenes. You know, they're, you know, it's like if it's the typical like no offense like influencer type, there's like, oh cool. It's like that's their reaction when it's like, yeah, actually just like a it's just a bunch of people in the Philippines like doing this instead of AI. It's like sweet. Like, I'm glad to partner with them, you know? Finner didn't respond to a request for comment. He's currently listed as a managing partner at New York VC Buttercore Partners, which didn't respond to a request for comment either. Interesting. Buttercore Partners. Okay, so they're like a big, I guess like, I don't know, like big, but they've done quite a few investments. But now, you know, it's kind of like they've invested in like XAI and SpaceX, so it must be Elon Musk. But now I guess like I would just like lose trust in this company. Like I would not want to work with this company if the managing partner like defrauded other investors and customers. Like, bro, I like the design of this a lot though. Colors are nice. Book Me link is the easiest way to let people book your time and pay you. They must just like produce products as well. Like a DOJ indictment says that Nate ran out of money and was forced to sell its assets in January 2023, leaving its investors with near total losses. Bro, the website's up and everything. I wonder if the app exists still. Nate isn't the only startup that has allegedly exaggerated its AI capabilities. For example, an AI drive-through software startup was powered largely by humans in the Philippines, The Verge reported in 2023. More recently, Business Insider reported that an AI legal tech unicorn, Even Up, used humans to do much of its work. Bro, that's crazy. Does like Even Up still exist? I mean, I guess they're like, it seems like they're kind of like doing fine. A combination of AI and humans to ensure accuracy and AI improving. And I guess like that's the thing, like it's not really that big of a deal. It's more so like them just not like making it obvious or like sharing the information. It's the trust. Interesting. The illusion of technological automation. Yeah. This also comes like right after Trump said that they're gonna like back down on white collar crimes. Oh, I guess this is a I don't fucking know how the judicial system like works like in every like I guess fully. But this is like the Southern District of New York, so like maybe it's like it's not the like directly really the federal government. It says the FBI and shit. Anyways, yeah, this is crazy. It's more so like not funny, but ironic. I don't know. Let's see if wait. I want to see if Nate is even on the App Store still. Nate. I don't actually see them on the App Store. On the App Store, there's a lot of apps called Nate, but actually surprising, it's like these are like this Korean apps come up. I think it's this is like really the Naver though. No, it's definitely not. Anyways, okay. Just quick one on this. Rippling and Deal. There's a corporate espionage problem. Deal implanted a mole in Rippling, and they found out via a honeypot. Like literally classic spy shit. And it looks like they're trying to serve Deal CEO, but they can't find him. This is when private investigators come in. Like that's literally half of private investigators' job is spying on divorced couple, a spouse of some sort, likely for rich people who don't trust their like husband or wife, and then it's finding people who are avoiding being served. HR Tech started Rippling's trying to serve Deal CEO Alex Bouazes with papers as part of a blockbuster lawsuit against its competitor. There's just one problem: French bailiffs hired by Rippling can't seem to find Bouazes. Irish newspaper business reports. Business Post reports. Rippling sued Deal earlier this year in Ireland. They did each other in Ireland? I guess they're EU companies. They're in Ireland. Alleging the company paid one of its employees to... Well, I think Ireland's like the tax haven, right? It's like everyone has a fucking company in Ireland, just like Delaware. Or like Wyoming or some shit. Paid one of its... In Ireland, alleging the company paid one of its employees to spy on them, according to the lawsuit that includes an affidavit from the alleged spy, which reads like a movie. Deal denies all wrongdoing. Rippling needs to serve Bowles' papers for the case, but French bailiffs hired by Rippling have been unable to find him, who is French. At his listed address in Paris, Rippling may need to apply to serve him via email, the business reports. You could serve people by email? But like... I feel like a lot of people, I mean, like, they're in the tech, like, he's a CEO, so, like, whatever. Like, a lot of normal people don't check their email that often. Bowles is highly nomadic, but remains very attached to France. French magazine Challenges reports. Lists his location as Tel Aviv on LinkedIn, but New York on X. Bro, this dude's playing fucking mind games. That's funny. So is this him? No, this is... Yeah, maybe this is him. Yeah, this is... Looking at commentary on this. Yeah, Amazon Go. That was like the big one. Yeah, the walkout tech, where it's actually people in the data center, or in the fucking looking at like what you're picking up. I think the problem is, yeah, they didn't like take money from investors claiming to be A, but it's actually B. Everyone knows that ChatGPT Pro is exclusively powered by capuchin monkeys. It's funny. Okay, let's look at Metaverse. FTC versus Meta. What the fuck? Alright, we'll cover this after. This is crazy. Yeah, 4chan was hacked, apparently. Zuckerberg testifies as FTC Meta trade opening salvos in antitrust trial. Now, earlier, like a week or two ago, Zuckerberg was meeting with Trump, and people theorized that they were trying to get him... Zuckerberg was trying to get Trump to drop the antitrust lawsuit. But Republicans hate big tech a lot, just as much as the Democrats, arguably for nefarious reasons, because they think that, you know, everything, like, they design the system against them, when it's just like, yeah, bro, it's like you the shit you say is actually like racist. You know, like that's more so what it is. Like, sorry. It's like, yeah. Um but they hate big tech too, and so Meta or Zuckerberg was trying to get Trump to drop the trial, obviously, and has done a lot. I think, you know, he's donated to like Trump's like, I don't know, library fund. They've reversed their like yeah, he donates $1 million to the Trump fund. He reversed a lot of their like fact checking and went to community notes, which ironically actually is probably going to be better. And for the most part, because it's kind of decentralized, it's now up to the community. But I did hear that a lot of times people disagree, especially on political things, and so usually nothing actually ever gets like put out. That's kind of what it is with Twitter. The problem is because it's like, since it is a community, it's like there's dissenting, you know, sides. So, he's done that. He has kind of just done the like conservative like podcast tour and just like going the whole free speech route, I guess. But it's just such an obvious flip-flop that it's kind of fake. And considering that we read emails here on stream from Peter Thiel, in between like Peter Thiel, might have been like Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, some other like, you know, big tech cabal type people. They you know, they made it open and obvious that like Zuckerberg is just conforming to be like the like typical millennial, which is like the turtleneck and chain, you know, fuckboy haircut vibe that Zuckerberg kind of switched to. That's all a play to get him to be more likable. But then, like, you know, he does all this like in terms of like his principles and morality and like his, you know, morals, he flip-flops. It's just like so obvious. So it's like now he just seems fake, and it just, you know, kind of discredits like even the like more like relatable vibe that he goes to, I guess. Him as a person is whatever, but like this, it like his kind of like professional and like his vibe that he puts out, I feel like I kind of get this like fakeness to it now. So anyways, FTC is still suing Meta. They went through with it, and it so far, you know, it hasn't worked. We'll see like what the actual end case is, but yeah. Zuckerberg's 2012 email dubs smoking gun at Meta Monopoly trial. Now, I think so with the Monopoly trial, they're claiming that they have like a monopoly on like social media, that they kind of purposely acquired Instagram and WhatsApp to corner the market, I guess. And I don't know. Yeah, these are hard because this isn't anything like out of the ordinary. I guess like acquisitions and like, sure, it's like at the time I like, it's hard to think about if this is actually what they were doing. Like now in the future it might look like that in the past, but like actually at the time, like were they actually trying to corner the market? I guess clearly they have a smoking gun email, but yeah, let's read this political one first and then we'll see. This was yesterday. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg became the first witness to testify at Monday's Federal Trade Commission landmark antitrust trial that seeks to break up the company. I think Zuckerberg was the first witness. He's probably just like, just get me up there, just let me get this over with. Daniel Matheson, the FTC's lead lawyer, spent the first hour trying to pin down Zuckerberg on the core value proposition of the social media giant, suggesting that Meta's platforms are primarily designed to connect users with friends and family and other people they know in their life. No, Meta's value proposition is to consumers, that is, but as a business, it's connecting advertisers with people you want to sell things to. I mean, that's pretty much what they is, and like they have some of the best advertising out there because they could connect. You know, they could put your ad in front of like exactly the kind of person that you want to buy your product or or see whatever message it is, donate. Like politicians use Facebook ads a lot. And I'd say Facebook, but I include like Instagram, whatever, all their other, social media apps, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, whatever, all their I can't even think of all their platforms, but let's look actually, wait, Meta platforms. Yeah, they own Oculus, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, WhatsApp. Advertising accounts for 97.8% of its revenue. Yeah, they own Oculus. Oh yeah, Workplace. Portal, rip. But Facebook and Instagram, and WhatsApp are like the big guys. I think Oculus is kind of big too, but that's more so like grown into their like Reality Labs or whatever the hell. Yeah, formerly Oculus VR. Okay. The question is core to the FCC's claim that Meta has a monopoly in the personal social networking market, which the agency contends revolves around connection with friends and family. The FTC claims that market consists of just 4 platforms. Wait, the question is core to the FCC's claim that Meta has a monopoly in the personal social networking market, which the agency contends revolves around connections with friends and family. What the yeah, like, okay, like, no, I'm not like defending Meta here, but like this just kind of seems like very vague. Like personal social networking, there's just not really many social networking sites that are as big as, like Instagram, Twitter. Like there's just not that many websites, like social media sites. So it's like, sure, if you have the biggest, it's not like, if you have the biggest out of 3, it's like, okay, what do you want me to do? There's like motivate other people to make personal social networking sites. The FTC claims that the market consists of just 4 platforms. Oh yeah, and that's I guess. Yeah, but like, okay. Anyways, Meta owned Instagram and WhatsApp. WhatsApp is also used a lot for business, especially outside the US. Like WhatsApp is, people run businesses like, through WhatsApp. And like Instagram is just YouTube. It's way less. Yeah, I don't know actually. Well, let's keep reading. I'm like jumping the gun here. Plus Snapchat, okay. And a much smaller app called MeWe. What? I've never heard of this. MeWe? The Safe Network. Is there this fucking name is, they could have done better, bro. I think it's probably like Mayway or some shit with like all the dots. Your privacy, your community, your control. No surveillance. Okay, actually this is like, the name is shit, but like what they're like going after is like fine. But like this is also just like the Fediverse, like Mastodon. I guess Blue Sky is technically not the Fediverse. They're like AT protocol, different protocol. But yeah. Interesting. But like, okay, like is this actually the entire market? But again, if so, actually I wonder what the argument is. Like if the market is just small in general, then like what is it? Like how's that Facebook's problem? But Zuckerberg didn't take Matheson's bait, claiming at one point that Facebook's feed has turned away from friends and family and towards more of a broad discovery internet space. I actually agree with that. That's what genuinely, that is what it is now. Like this is a boomer mentality. I feel like it's like Facebook, yeah, like that's like, friends and family. It's like, bro, when was the last time you used Facebook? 2012? Or Instagram? Like Instagram is just, it's YouTube Shorts, it's TikTok. But it's also just pictures. But like, I think most people are not using Instagram primarily for communicating with friends and family. I think it's primarily entertainment that friends and family also use. And then you also just happen to communicate with them. It might have started out using as a personal social networking, but it's evolved to be much more than that. I kind of agree with actually Zuckerberg so far on this. The government is expected to question Zuckerberg over emails he and other executives sent about the purchases of Instagram and WhatsApp. In its opening statements, the government said that Facebook parent company bought up competing apps to create a monopoly. Okay, yeah, sure. Maybe back. See, like, I feel like they're like, how could you like? They bought these so long ago. Like, yeah, maybe back then, but like now it has evolved into something different. I don't know. In one such email, Zuckerberg said that Instagram was growing so fast the company had to buy it for $1 billion. That was probably the smoking gun email. Okay, but I guarantee you, if not Facebook, then it was a different company. It was Google, probably. I don't know. Who was a big, like, Twitter? Like, would Twitter buy that? No, Jack Dorsey. No, they bought Vine. It's an email written by someone who recognized Instagram as a threat and was forced to sacrifice $1 billion because Meta could not meet that threat through competition, said the FTC's lead lawyer. I feel like it's too late, though. Like, bro, when did... When did they buy Instagram? 2012. So it's been 13 years. Fire OS, is that Amazon? Yeah, Amazon. I don't know. Okay, let's keep reading. If the FTC convinces U.S. District Judge James Boasberg that Meta's 2012 and 2014 acquisitions of Instagram and WhatsApp were illegal, the agency will try to split up the $1.4 trillion company. A breakup of that size hasn't been attempted since telephone monopoly AT&T was unwound 40 years ago. What about Google and Google Chrome and Android? They didn't, like, that's still ongoing. Meta's opening arguments suggest the company will focus overwhelmingly on combating the FTC's definition of the personal social networking market. If its lawyers, led by Kellogg Hansen partner Mark Hansen, right in there in the name of the company, you know he's important probably, claim the government's definition of the market, a key step in establishing if there's a monopoly, excludes rivals like TikTok, YouTube, and iMessage. Agreed. I actually agree. Believe it or not. Although iMessage, I guess if they're including WhatsApp, then yeah, it's like, how is iMessage not in there? Might throw Discord in there. Shit. Just kidding. It's a little different. Yeah, I think that the market is probably, I think this is like includes the market, but I don't really know if that helps. Like, okay, now you add in like 3 more companies. Yeah, because I guess if the same logic, then it's like, okay, so then should Google divest of YouTube? Should Apple divest of iMessage? I feel like it's a little different, but similar. That's indefensible. That's gerrymandering, Hansen said, of the FTC's curtailed social media market. Monday's opening arguments capped off a nearly 6-year process that began in 2019 when FTC under Donald Trump first opened an antitrust probe against Meta. While Meta's social media products are free to use, making it impossible to prove that its alleged monopoly harmed consumers through higher prices. Yeah, because it's free. It's like we harvested more data. While Meta's social media products are free to use, making it impossible to prove that its alleged monopoly harmed consumers through its higher prices, the typical route in antitrust cases. Matheson said the FTC will show that the Instagram and WhatsApp acquisitions still harmed consumers. He said Instagram users in particular now see far more advertisements on the platform than they would have in a competitive social media marketplace. Disagree. How else was it, like, wait, in a more competitive... Okay, let's break this down, but let me finish this. The agency will also claim that a lack of competition led to reduced investments in platforms and declined in privacy protections. Yeah, privacy protections, yeah, but this is just a model for social media companies to make money. It's the same exact... That's why Google is essentially... How much of Google's revenue is advertising? Google search and other, I mean, YouTube ads plus Google search and others. This is all ads. It's still like 70% of their revenue is advertising. So like, it would not have changed, I guess, because that's just the way that social media companies make money is that, you know, they put in, like, literally we just talked about advertising when we were talking about video advertising in video games. And look at here, Roblox CEO on right here. Because Roblox is the one who's doing it with Google. Mind you, they were actually doing it with Google. That's who they're partnering with. But, you know, it's like you share a bunch of personal information to connect with family, and in return, you get to, you know, use this platform of connecting everyone in the world that everyone in the world is theoretically on. Most people are. And then you get to use it for free, and in return, you see advertisements because they take your data. Like, that's the transactional part of it, but that's just, like, they need to go back and change history to make this, the business model, different, and, like, that's just not going to happen. If Instagram wasn't acquired by Facebook, one, they would probably just be acquired by some other company. I wouldn't be surprised. But their business model will be the exact same. It's just like the, you know, the most efficient, it's just the best thing, I think, for social media. So it kind of all converged and everyone just kind of has the same business model because it's just the one that works. Now, I'm not advocating for harvesting data and everything. I'm just, you know, I'm pro privacy protections. And I think, yeah, that's the dangers of them is how much data that they have. The CIA was an investor in Facebook because of the, you know, the nature of the data they have. Like, it's valuable, but it also sucks to be a consumer that you have to give up all of that to just use these platforms. But also most people don't care, and also most people aren't going to pay. So it's like, what other, you know, option is there? Not using it, which is generally. But I actually, I don't know. This, like, the case just seems weak. I actually am kind of on Meta's side, not like I just think that the FTC is just kind of grasping it. I don't know, trying to pick up crumbs or some shit. Crumbs in the carpet. Like, you might have found something, you're like, oh nope. Like, that's a grape. Runaway blueberry. That's more so like an I like drop fruit like every single night because I just like it is good. Anyway, my girlfriend gives me a hard time, rightfully so. Hansen pushed back on the claim that more ads on Meta-owned platforms have led to a decline in user welfare. A lot of people find them useful, even entertaining. Okay, guy. I'm on your side, but you're making me question that, all right? Relax, okay? Don't get a little too confident here. They click on them to learn more and even buy things. Obviously, bro. Obviously. That's such a misconstrued interpretation of ads. Like people like it, like they buy them so they like them, you know? It's like, Bro, like ads are essentially kind of propaganda. Let's be real. They're meant to manipulate you, I guess. I think you know that's definitely the bad side of it. It's likely it's more like education. Some do manipulate you though. Let's be real. Okay. Hansen also said the FTC risked undercutting innovation and competition across the tech sector by seeking to unwind acquisitions it previously approved. Innovation and competition in the tech sector? I mean, like, that's like pushing it, but I think though it's like, yeah, they did approve it, and so it's like, okay, well, I need to see an example of this happening before. I know they said AT&T Bell Labs, but like, did they make an acquisition and then, you know, 10 plus years later be like, actually that acquisition you made was like was monopolistic, so like you have to undo it? It's like, well, it's like you didn't at the time, it was fine. I wonder if that, like, yeah, I wonder like how that works. The FTC claims the mantle of competition while at the same time bringing a lawsuit that will eliminate one of the main incentives startup founders have to try and get in the game. Yeah, they're kind of just like exaggerating, I guess, but the case is a bench trial. Bench trial. GTRP guys. Bench trial. I think it's just like a quick trial, like what a bench trial is. The case is a bench trial, meaning Boasberg will be the sole decider. He was appointed in 2011 by former President Barack Obama to serve on the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. He's also currently clashing with the Trump administration over its efforts to deport Venezuelan immigrants to an El Salvador prison, prompting President Donald Trump to call for Boasberg's impeachment. Oh, so he's the this judge. He's the one Trump said that we should impeach, and then I think it was like one of the Supreme Court, like Judge Roberts was like, who was conservative, was like wagged his finger at Trump and be like, listen, like, don't be saying anything like that. Like, my judges. Just kidding. I actually don't think he has a country accent either. Southern accent, I guess. Boasberg has sounded skeptical of the FTC's case against Meta in the past and even dismissed the FTC's initial case in 2021, singling out the agency's inability to offer any indications of the metrics or methods it used to calculate Facebook's market share in the past, and even dismissed the FTC's initial case in 2021. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of on Meta's side right now, just in terms of this case. In November, Boasberg said the agency faces hard questions about whether its claims can hold up in the crucible of trial, and said that the FTC's position at the time strained this country's creaking antitrust precedents to their limit. Dang. Are we at times strain this country's creaking? Are we though? I mean, like, we have like $1 trillion plus companies. You know, we have companies that are surpassing the power and, you know, influence of the government. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really seem like we're using it too hard, like, you know, flexing the muscle too much. Even if Boasberg goes for the FTC's arguments, Trump could bail out Meta. That would be so crazy if that happened. And Republicans can't say shit about government overreach also. If, like, I mean, already with Trump, like, putting his hands in, like, private markets, especially in, like, free speech with, like, schooling and shit, like, yeah, this would be crazy if Trump bailed them out. Antitrust observers have watched Zuckerberg cozy up to the president with increasing alarm. Yeah, which we kind of talked about before this. Meta CEO met with Trump in the Oval Office earlier this month, reportedly to ask for a settlement ahead of a trial. It traditionally would not be possible for president to influence an FTC-led antitrust case. Historically, the agency had operated independently of the White House, but Ferguson promises to follow Trump's lawful orders, combined with the president's president's move last month to fire the FTC's Democratic commissioners has given Trump an unprecedented control over the agency. Yeah, and there's a last paragraph like this is a whole other issue in itself, but yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy though that if Meta like loses and then Trump bails out Meta, like that would be insane. I just don't think the FTC is going to win. Yeah, I don't know. The case just seems kind of weak. Let's see what Ars has to say. They have a more like nuanced opinion on the tech scene, I think. Politico is more like the FTC side. Zuckerberg's 2012 email dubs "smoking gun" at Meta's monopoly trial, we're gonna speed read this here because you probably know a bunch of details. Starting the Federal Trade Commission's antitrust trial Monday with a bang, Daniel Matheson, the FTC's lead litigator, flagged a smoking gun, a 2012 email where Mark Zuckerberg suggested that Facebook could buy Instagram to neutralize a potential competitor. Again, though, I still hold the opinion that I still think that it's 12 years later, it's too late. I guess and from a business perspective, if you make an acquisition, government approves it, the FTC's like, okay, cool, yep, nope, not a monopoly, like I think it's fine. 10 years later, sure, maybe some more information comes up that at the time it might have been a monopoly, or might have been like monopolistic behavior, but the app has grown to be something different than what it originally was. Like that seems hard in general to even get those arguments through. That seems a bit much. Let's see them. Yeah, I don't know. This is just hard to argue. Like, it's hard for the FTC to argue about something that's 12 years ago. And in another banger of an email from Zuckerberg, Brendan Benedict, an antitrust expert monitoring the trial for big tech on trial, like a publication on X, that the Meta CEO wrote, "Messenger isn't beating WhatsApp. Instagram was growing so fast than us that we had to buy them for $1 billion. That's not exactly killing it." I don't know what that's supposed to mean though. Are they talking about killing Instagram? These messages and others, the FTC hopes to convince the court provide evidence that Zuckerberg runs Meta by the mantra, "It's better to buy than to compete." Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see Zuckerberg living by that. Seemingly for more than a decade. Yeah, but I guess though, when I'm just in my mind, thinking about other conglomerates like Amazon, like Google, Microsoft. Like Amazon is in so many different markets that they are number one in. That I guess I just feel like they need to go back and apply this fucking to all the other, acquisitions that happened 10 plus years ago that may have been anti-competitive. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of on Meta's side still. Seemingly more than a decade, intent on growing the Facebook empire by killing off rivals, allegedly in violation of antitrust law. So they're claiming that they've done it. No, because the suit is specifically for Instagram and WhatsApp. Another message from Zuckerberg exhibits at trial, Benedict noted on X, suggests Facebook tried to buy yet another rival, Snapchat, for $6 billion. We should probably prepare for a leak that we offered $6 billion and all the negative attention that will come from that, Zuckerberg said in a message. That's crazy. Let's just prepare for the leak. At the trial, Matheson suggested that Meta broke the deal that firms have in the US to compete to succeed, allegedly deciding that competition was too hard and it would be easier to buy out the rivals than to compete with them. I guess it's like, then if the rivals agreed, then like, no, that's, you want competition. The New York Times reported ultimately it will be up to the FTC to prove that Meta couldn't have achieved its dominance today without buying Instagram and WhatsApp. I see. Yeah, okay, so that's hard. In 2012 and 2014, respectively, while legal experts told the New York Times that it's extremely rare to unwind mergers approved so many years ago. Yeah, I think that's still the case. That's still my position. Later, Zuckerberg told that it will take the stand. Later today, Zuckerberg will take the stand and testify for perhaps 7 hours, likely being made to answer for these those messages and more. According to the New York Times, the FTC will present a paper trail of emails where Zuckerberg and other Meta executives make it clear that acquisitions were intended to remove threats to Facebook's dominance in the market. Yeah. I think though you could potentially prove that they definitely want like this, like compete or acquire rather than compete, buy than to compete. You could probably prove that, but I think it's just nullifies of how long ago the actual acquisition happened. Its parent Meta plans to argue that it doesn't matter that Zuckerberg or other executives intended when pursuing acquisitions. In a pre-trial brief, Meta argued that the FTC's case rests almost entirely on emails, many more than a decade old, allegedly expressing competitive concerns, but suggests that this is only intent evidence without any evidence of anti-competitive effects. And I could see that argument too. It doesn't just because we talk about it doesn't mean that that's actually the result of what was happening. Like, I don't know, I can see that. I'm like this the worst person for this sometimes, because like I could just see the objectiveness. I could like see the objectiveness of like each argument, and so it's just like, yeah, that sounds like right, but like FTC may force Meta to spin off Instagram, WhatsApp. Yeah. I just don't think Instagram would just go downhill immediately. Like there's so much more at play, I guess. And I think this is like comparing this to like Google and like breaking up Google and like them selling Google Chrome. It's not like Google's business is like primary business is Google Chrome. Like Google, is much more diversified in terms of like like not even revenue. They have a lot of advertising revenue, but like platform wise, it's like they have a lot of products. Meta essentially has, like they have like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus, and then like, Meta and some metaverse shit, but like that's really it. It's just these single platforms are very large, and there's a lot of verticals in this like individual platform, like Instagram, like advertising, shopping, like AI shit, like messaging, like it's a lot more, all just within a single app. So I think it is different when like comparing it to like breaking up other big tech companies like this, because Facebook's essentially social media. I guess they do hardware too, but yeah. It's the FTC's burden to show that Meta's acquisition harmed consumers and the market, and those harms outweigh any believable pro-competitive benefits alleged by Meta. But it remains to be seen whether Meta will devote ample time to testifying that Mark Zuckerberg got it wrong. When describing its rationale for acquisitions, Big Tech on trial noted. And I just don't think that well, privacy has definitely been worsened, I think, probably with Instagram, just due to the advertising. I don't think overall, like, the experience is worse. I don't think it would be, like, better, necessarily, if Facebook didn't acquire Instagram. Meta's lead lawyer, Mark Hansen, told Law 360 that what people thought at Meta is not really what this case is. For those keeping track of who in the case. Hansen apparently once was the boss of James Boasberg, the judge in the case. Big Tech on Trial reported. What the fuck? Did Meta do that on purpose? Did fucking Zuckerberg like fucking snipe the judge in the case by hiring his ex-boss? What the fuck? The social media company hopes to convince the court that the FTC's case is political. Yeah, I talked about that when we were talking about political one. I think it definitely has political motivations. And considering that Trump fired all the Democratic FTC chairs or FTC members, board members, whatever they're called. So it's like, it definitely can be construed as like, you know, not even misconstrued, like construed of that. Dang, that's crazy. This case is actually way more like interesting than I kind of thought. So far, Meta has accused the FTC of shifting its market definition while willfully overlooking today's competitive realities online simply to punish a tech giant for its success. Yeah, and this is what I think. It's just a boomer mentality of like looking way back and then like wanting to like, you know, not looking at the realities of the market today and comparing it instead to way back, you know, in 2012 or whatever when they acquired Instagram. I think that's part of it too. Which is like, no offense to conservatives, but like, you know, they want to conserve, they like want to keep things the same, they want to go back, you know, so it's like makes sense, I guess. I don't know. In a blog post on Sunday, Meta's chief legal officer Jennifer Newstead accused the FTC of lobbying a weak case that ignores reality, that insists that FTC has gerrymandered a fictitious market to exclude Meta's actual rivals like TikTok, X, YouTube, or LinkedIn. Yeah. They haven't said it's in this article, but they still think they consider Instagram and WhatsApp to be part of like. Did I close the article? Hang on. They consider it to be a personal social networking that only includes the entire market includes WhatsApp, Snapchat, and Mayway or MeWe. Like, those four platforms are the entire market? Like, no. Instagram competes with YouTube. Honestly, you should throw Netflix in here. Fuck. Like, if we're just talking about attention, but I think it's like it's the messaging part. But yeah, TikTok, YouTube, anything that has like short form video that you could also like DM someone in or comment on, like. But this is also just an outdated view of what like these are. Like, businesses use these, they're advertising platforms, they are video platforms. A personal social networking might just be, now it might previously been the #1 feature, now it's like number 36, you know, it just happens to be that friends are on this platform and you communicate with them. Okay, Boasberg will be scrutinizing the market definition as well as alleged harms, and the FTC will potentially struggle to win him over on the merits of their case. Big Tech on trial, which suggests that Meta's acquisitions, if intended to kill off rivals, would be considered a textbook violation of the antitrust laws. Textbook violation of antitrust laws? Yeah, I agree with that. It's just too late. Like, noted that the court previously told the FTC that the agency had an uphill climb in proving its market definition, and because Meta's social platforms are free, it's hard to show direct evidence of consumer harms, experts have noted. Yeah, and Politico also talked about that, the other article. Still, for Meta, the stakes are high, as the FTC could pursue a breakup of the company, including requiring Meta to spin off WhatsApp and Instagram. Losing Instagram would hit Meta's revenue hard, as Instagram is supposed to bring in more than half of its US ad revenue in 2025, eMarketer forecasted last December. Dang. I mean, yeah, it's big. The trial is expected to last 8 weeks, but much of the most anticipated testimony will come early. Facebook's former chief operating officer Sheryl Sandberg, as well as Kevin Systrom, co-founder of Instagram, I think this is the dude, are expected to testify this week. I do not know who this is actually. All unsealed emails and exhibits will eventually be posted on a website jointly managed by the FTC and Meta, but ours was not yet provided a link or timeline for when the public evidence will be posted online. I think this will really come to like paint a better picture. Meta's mock FTC's ad load theory. The FTC is arguing that, what does that even mean though? FTC is arguing that Meta overpaid to acquire Instagram and WhatsApp to maintain an alleged monopoly in the personal social networking market that includes rivals like Snapchat and Mayway, a social networking platform that brands itself as a privacy-focused Facebook alternative. In an opening argument, the FTC alleged that once competition was eliminated, Meta then degraded the quality of its platforms by limiting user privacy and inundating users with ads. Privacy thing? Yes. See, I feel like though you have to think about if Facebook didn't buy Instagram, they would have gone down the exact same route. Like, let's be real. Like, they would have shown ads, they would have had to collect data, they would have, like, it would have all been like the same. At least that's what I think. I just don't know how else they would make money. I mean, that's every single social networking platform that is profitable, let's say that, is through ads. Or shopping. But like even TikTok, I don't think TikTok was like profitable. In March 2024, is TikTok profitable? Highly profitable. Okay. I was way off on that. $189 million in revenue? That's literally nothing. Almost doubling the next profitable app, YouTube, which only reached $111 million. I didn't even think YouTube made money, was profitable. Like, yeah, I know. I'm sure their ByteDance is, but because they have a lot of other. Yeah, bro. But TikTok, I imagine it's shopping, and it's like their e-commerce is the social shopping, which is big in Asia. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I think that's just the people don't. The alternative to this is people paying for social media, and that would just never like work long term. Like mass market. Meta has defended its acquisitions by arguing that it improved Instagram and WhatsApp. Yeah, I mean, depending on what you do. Yeah, I mean, I think overall he probably improved it. Like, depending on what you say, like, kind of improved. At trial, Meta's lawyer Hansen made light of the FTC's ad load theory, stirring laughter in the reported packed courtroom. Benedict posted on X. What? If you don't like an ad, you scroll past it. It takes about a second. What? That's their argument? That's like the cyberbullying, like, just don't look at it. Like, okay, dude, like, come on. This is bad. Meanwhile, Newstead, who reportedly attended opening arguments, argued in her blog that Instagram and WhatsApp provide a model for what successful acquisitions can achieve. Meta has made Instagram and WhatsApp better, more reliable, and more secure through billions of dollars and millions of hours of investment. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like, this is like, yeah, sure. This is, yeah. By breaking up these acquisitions, Hansen argued the FTC would be sending a strong message to startups that would kill entrepreneurship by seemingly taking mergers and acquisitions off the table. Yeah, I think this is an exaggeration, though. To defeat the FTC, Meta will likely attempt to broaden the market definition to include more rivals. In support of that, Meta has already pointed to the recent TikTok ban driving TikTok users to Instagram, which allegedly shows the platforms are interchangeable despite the FTC's differentiating TikTok as a video app. Yeah, I agree with that. The FTC will likely lean on Meta's internal documents to show who Meta actually considers rivals. During the opening arguments, for example, FTC reportedly shared that Meta document showing that Meta itself has agreed with the FTC and differentiated Facebook as connecting friends and family, while LinkedIn connecting coworkers and Nextdoor connecting neighbors. Yeah, oh god, bro, this like is hurting my brain, like thinking about like the mental gymnastics sometimes of like justifying these things. Like, bro, fuck being a lawyer. Like, holy shit. Yeah, obviously they also do that, but like just because they do that, it doesn't mean that's like the only thing they do or the only market that they compete in. Contemporaneous records revealed that Meta and other social media executives understood that users flocked to different platforms for different purposes, and that Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp were specifically designed to operate in a distinct sub-market for family and friend connection. That is not what I got from this message. That American Economic Liberties Project, which is partnering with big tech on trial to monitoring proceedings, said in a press statement. But Newstead suggested that evidence of fierce and increasing competition in the market has only grown in the 4 years since the FTC's complaint was filed. I actually agree, yeah, because between Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok, like there is a lot of competition to like in terms of like users and like advertising. I think YouTube putting so much weight in like work into Shorts is like just a kind of example of that, but also Instagram just launching Reels because clearly they were competing with TikTok to launch Reels, like when launching Reels. To emphasize the threats to U.S. consumers and business, Newstead also invoked the supposed threat to America's AI leadership if one of the country's leading tech companies loses momentum at this key moment. This is actually a good argument because this is relevant. And like TikTok is owned by China, Chinese, whatever, owned by a Chinese company. Like this is the right argument, especially to like the Trump administration. It's absurd that the FTC is trying to break up a great American company at the same time the administration is trying to save Chinese-owned TikTok. Right. Actually, like let's be real. Like I don't know if I would call Meta a great American company, but they're American. Newstead said, it makes no sense for regulators to try and weaken U.S. companies right at the moment we need them to invest in winning the competition with China for leadership in AI. Yeah, Meta notably has the Llama models, which they're open. You could download, run locally. But they are a American, top American producer of AI, so like yeah, that's like not a bad argument. Trump's FTC appears unlikely to back down. Zuckerberg has been criticized for his supposed last-ditch attempts to push the Trump administration to pause or toss the FTC's case. Last month, the CEO visited Trump in the Oval Office to discuss a settlement. Politico reported, apparently worrying officials who don't want Trump to bail out Meta. I'm just thinking about how the conversation between Trump and Zuckerberg went. Like, Zuckerberg is just like kind of like an awkward dude. And so like I just want to know how that conversation went. Funny. On Monday, the FTC did not appear to be wavering, however, prompting alarm bells in the tech industry. Patrick Hedger, and director of policy for NetChoice, a trade group that represents Meta and other big tech companies, warned that if the FTC undoes Meta's acquisition, it would harm innovation and competition while damaging trust in the FTC long term. I don't know. I mean, that's exaggerating, if I'm being real. Like, this is just, like, propaganda-ish shit. Like, definitely some big tech companies are, like, should be broken up, i.e. Google. This bait and switch against Meta for acquisition, approved over 10 years ago in the fiercely competitive social media marketplace, will have serious ripple effects not only in the US tech industry, but across American business. They're, like, playing too much into Trump's, like lap now, I guess. Seemingly accusing Donald Trump's FTC of pursuing Lena Khan's alleged agenda excuse me, against big tech. Hedger added that with Meta at the forefront of open source AI innovation and a global competitor, the outcome for this trial will have spillover into the entire economy, will create fear among businesses that making future pro-competitive investments would be reversed due to political discontent, not the necessary evidence traditionally required for an anti-competitive claim. This whole thing was like way too much. Like, dude, right now I'm kind of on your side. Like, don't fucking make me regret that, all right, dude? Big Tech on trial noted that it's possible that the FTC could vote to settle, withdraw, or pause the case. Last month, Trump fired the two Democrats, eliminating a 3-2 split and ensuring only Republicans are steering the agency for now. That's why it's kind of hard to make this. The political the argument for making this a politically driven lawsuit. It's like that narrative makes it easier to believe, considering the fact that two Democrats were fired, even though it might have been a continuation of what Lena Khan, a Democrat, Joe Biden at FTC shared, might have been a continuation of her agenda, but still. Trump's FTC seems determined to proceed in attempts to disrupt Meta's business. FTC Chair Andrew Ferguson told Fox Business Monday that antitrust laws can help make sure that no private sector company gets so powerful that it affects our lives in ways that are really bad for all Americans, and that's what this trial beginning is all about. Yeah, I mean, I agree generally that's like what antitrust laws should do. I just don't think this will have any effect. Yeah, this is an interesting lawsuit. We'll continue seeing that as it goes. Okay, here. This is like live updates. Ads have approached the quality of organic content. This is bro, never would I thought it'd be like defending Zuckerberg, let alone advertising, but this is the argument I made when we were talking about ads and video games, where it's like, if the ad actually fits into the game and into the world, I don't even think it's that bad. If it allows the game developer, if the game's free and it allows the game developers to like live a life while developing this game, especially that you enjoy, like, to me that seems like not that bad. It's more so the invasiveness and the privacy that's bad. And like, if you get rid of that, it's just kind of like whatever. It's possible I compared it to those specific services. We also heard a video clip played of Zuckerberg comparing WhatsApp to WeChat, Kakao. Kakao talks to Korean, WeChat's Chinese, and Line. I've never heard of Line. It's possible I compare those. FTC's using... Wait, but they didn't talk about these before, though. I will say, like, in the articles, they did not mention any of these as being in the same market. But does that even help the argument? I feel like that just widens the market. The upshot here is the FTC using Zuckerberg's comments in an email about WeChat, KakaoTalk, and Line that they were expanding from messaging into social networks to infer the intent behind the WhatsApp acquisition. Oh, I see. But that seems different. That's not like I'm confused now. personal social networking, like, and they considered Meta own Instagram and WhatsApp plus Snapchat and much smaller app called Mayway. To me, this seems to go in Meta's favor because now the market's even bigger, helping them justify that. Am I Anyways, okay, let's move on. It's like something like an hour and a half on that story. I guess it was a big one, but okay, let's actually talk about this real quick because there's not really much news here, I guess. But before I pull the we already closed that. Before I open another one for this, but maybe not. It's like no. Okay, The Verge. OpenAI is building a social network. I need to like dive deeper. I need to like think more about OpenAI like as a company because I've said in the past, is this like zoomed in? It's like holy shit. I feel like OpenAI just needs to focus on like making models and like tools around enabling developers and people to build on them, and then like have ChatGPT. I guess like ChatGPT separate, but like I feel like ChatGPT is kind of just like they need some data, but I also feel like it's kind of slowing them down. Maybe. I guess if we think about OpenAI as like a business, like they do need to generate revenue and money outside of just API stuff. And I guess if you do have a consumer market that, and especially at the size of them, it is very rare and valuable. And like most companies like don't get to the scale that OpenAI has. So it's definitely valuable, but if they're just going for AGI, yeah, I don't know. I guess like to me this seems just like a distraction. Like what do they need this for? Yeah, is he just doing this to fucking piss off Elon Musk? Like maybe that's what he sees. Like he sees Zuckerberg, he sees Meta who has Llama and it's, you know, the underpinning is social networking. There's XAI who's Elon Musk who owns X or Twitter. There's Google who has all kinds of social platforms. Microsoft, who also has many social platforms. I don't know. That's crazy. Okay, let's read. OpenAI is working on its own X-like social network, according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. While the project is still in early stages, we're told there's an internal prototype focused on ChatGPT's image generation that has a social feed. This also, that seems like Midjourney, because Midjourney has like a social feed of you could see of all the images being generated. CEO Sam Altman has been privately asking outsiders for feedback about the project, our sources say. It's unclear if OpenAI's plan is to release the social network as a separate app or integrate it into ChatGPT, which became the most downloaded app globally last month. An OpenAI spokesperson didn't respond in time for publication. Launching a social network in or around ChatGPT would be likely increase Altman's already bitter rivalry with Elon Musk. In February, after Musk made an unsolicited offer to purchase OpenAI for $97.4 billion, Altman responded, "No thank you, but we will buy Twitter for $99.74 billion if you want." Entering the social media market also puts OpenAI on a more of a collision course with Meta, which we're told is planning to add a social feed to its coming standalone app for its AI assistant. Interesting. But like, what would the social feed be on the Meta social networking app? Like, When reports of Meta building a rival to the ChatGPT app first surfaced a couple of months ago, Altman shot back on X again by saying, okay, fine, maybe we'll do a social app. Interesting. But realistically, like, he probably already had that. They already, like, were working on it. A social app would give OpenAI its own unique real-time data that X and Meta already have to help train their models, AI models. Yeah, that's kind of like thinking back, I guess, of like social platforms. Although I feel like ChatGPT is, no, I guess the others have that. Is that just like an interface to talk to the AI? Yeah, Musk Grok surfaces content from X in its results. Ah, I see. Yeah, Musk recently went so far as to merge X and XAI into the same company. That is the biggest benefit of Grok, is it having direct access to like tweets and Twitter, because like it is useful considering also like the believe it or not, like I don't know, it's like not like if you don't engage with political shit, like you just don't see much political content. Like I don't really see political stuff. What I see is like analysis of political stuff. I don't see just like a lot of like slop, I guess. It's pretty tuned if you like are, you know, if you just don't engage with the slop. But, and so I guess what I'm saying is like there's actually like useful stuff on there, just, you know, it's, you just can't engage with it. But that's the benefit of Grok, is like it could pull from like threads and things of people sharing information and like, you know, things they've learned or like whatever. That's just a good like differentiator. And so I guess if OpenAI is trying to do something similar, I don't know. I feel like Facebook's like different. It's like a different crowd. I don't know how beneficial that would be in like Meta, but I mean they regardless, they all use that to like train their the models and shit. So it's still fed in some way, even if it's not directly used in like the actual interface. Musk recently went so far as to merge X. Okay, we heard about that. One idea behind the OpenAI social prototype we've heard is to have AI help people share better content. Is have AI help people share better content. What does that mean? The Grok integration with X has made everyone jealous, says someone working in another big AI lab, especially how people create viral tweets by getting it to say something stupid. I don't get this last. One idea behind the OpenAI social prototype we've heard is to have AI help people share better content. Like, what does this mean though? Like write and like create better content, or like find things to share? OpenAI has a lot going on, of course, and it's unclear if early stage social media prototype will ever see the light of day, but its existence inside OpenAI shows that how the company is thinking about expansion at a time when expectations for its future growth are sky high. I just think that this is all distraction. I don't know. Because realistically, if OpenAI is here to create AGI, they're right now relying on that. That is what Sam Altman is selling. That, like, no other... Who else would give $40 billion to a company to do something like this that makes fractions of what they're worth? They're like valued at $300 billion. They make $12 billion. Give them $40 billion more for a future promise of something. Like, to me, this seems like a distraction. I don't know. This will trigger Elon Musk. Yeah, a lot of AI accounts on engagement farming. I think there's at least one company that tried automatic image generation being a central to post. It didn't last long. I don't remember the name. Yeah, I guess like I just don't really understand what the point of the app is. To share better content. OpenAI has reportedly developed its own X-like social media platform. OpenAI is building its own X-like social media platform. I swear, if they do this for advertising, that will be the end of it. I think advertising in AI is inevitable, but like, yeah. The project is still in the early stages, but there's an internal prototype focused on ChatGPT's image generation that contains a social feed. But that's essentially what Sora already has that, I guess. I don't know the Sora website, and I also don't want to open it because I don't know what kind of images are going to be on there. The report states that if it's unknown if OpenAI plans to launch the social networking as a standalone app or if it plans to integrate it with the ChatGPT app. With this new social network, OpenAI would be taking on Elon Musk's X and Meta's social platforms, Facebook and Instagram. The new app would also allow OpenAI to access real-time data to train its AI models. Both X and Meta are okay. No, this app is going to be a disaster because the fact that it's a pure AI company making a social media app, it's just going to be fucking spammed like a motherfucker. Like, it's just going to be AI, people generating AI shit and just like posting it. Like, it's the quality, I feel like, is going to be the worst. Yeah, I think this is a bad idea for OpenAI. A bad idea in the sense I don't think it would accomplish what they really want it to. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has reportedly been privately asking outsiders for feedback about the social network. At this point, it's not clear. And also, it's just like another social network, bro. Like, at this point, it's not clear whether the project will ever launch publicly, but the existence of a prototype shows that OpenAI is looking to expand beyond its current offerings. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of OpenAI, let's look at GPT 4.1. GPT 4.1. AI model focus on coding. Which is crazy. Yeah, okay, let's just read it. I don't let's see if it's in cursor. OpenAI Monday launched a new family of models called GPT 4.1. Yes, 4.1, as if the company's nomenclature wasn't confusing enough already. Every time a new AI product, model, whatever comes out, they somehow create a worse name than what was before. AI, at least American AI companies, EU has their shit together. Their naming is sick. It's awesome. I don't know what the fuck it is with American AI companies and naming, but they need to take some lesson from some creative lessons or something. Not even creative lessons, communication, like clear communication. It's like their naming is confusing. Oh yeah, I was trying to make ASCII brains for Brady's brain or ASCII art brains. Okay. Okay, I want to see if they have GPT 4.1 on here. Go to settings, models. Okay. Ooh, they got it. GPT 4.1. We could ask it to code something in the background while we're reading this article. What should we have it make? Let's update it. We'll update it first. God damn it. Okay. Okay. Okay, there's GPT 4.1, GPT 4.1 Mini, and GPT 4.1 Nano, all of which OpenAI says excel at coding and instruction following, built through OpenAI's API, but not ChatGPT. The multimodal models have a 1 million token context window. Okay, and this is meaning they could take in roughly 750,000 words in one go, longer than War and Peace. This is important for coding because a lot of times when you have like the problems is like the code base balloons and then it can't read the entire code base when it goes to implement a new feature, and so it goes and codes a new feature and then it ignores some other facet of the code base and it in turn creates a bug, and then it just like this cycle. That's why like Llama Meta releasing Llama Scouts that has a 10 million token context window, like that's gonna be so crazy for coding because you could just feed the entire code base into the AI and then you can just scan over the entire thing and then it has it all in its context and then it could add the new feature and go from there. Okay, GPT 4.1. Let me make a new, sorry, I have like a weird process for, let me make a new repository. Let's call this, AI code on stream. On stream. No, we need a cooler name. Name for a secret project. Project Spectre. It plays a noise when it finishes now. That's cool. All right. GPT 4.1 arrives as OpenAI rivals like Google and Anthropic ratchet up efforts to build sophisticated programming models. Google's recently released Gemini 2.5 Pro, which also has a million token context window, ranks highly on popular coding benchmarks, so did Anthropic's Claude 3.7 and Chinese AI startup DeepSeek upgraded V3. 3.7, people have kind of been going back on it, especially in Cursor. It hasn't been like people haven't really been liking it that much. I used it a little bit, but like it hasn't been like so bad that I guess I haven't really noticed much of a change, whether being better or worse. It's the goal of many tech giants, including OpenAI, to train AI coding models capable of performing complex software engineering tasks. OpenAI's grand ambition is to create an agentic software engineer. As CFO Sarah Fryer put it during a tech summit in London last month, the company asserts its future models will be able to program entire apps end-to-end, handling aspects such as quality assurance, bug testing, and document writing. GPT 4.1 is a step in this direction. We've optimized GPT 4.1 for real-world use based on direct feedback to improve in areas that developers care most about: front-end coding, making fewer extraneous edits, following formats reliably, adhering to response structure and ordering, consistent tool usage, and more. I think the front-end coding is important because back-end is kind of like solved in the sense that like you could just hook up to like something like Supabase or Firebase or these kind of backends as a service, and like they just kind of do everything for you. It's just a matter of like setting it up. Excuse me. And so it's all you have to really build is like the front end, which is like the to me, I hate JavaScript. So if you're building websites, at least the front end is always sucks. I hate JavaScript CSS. These improvements enable developers to build agents that are considerably better at real-world software engineering tasks. And I think the idea is that, think about like robots. It's like the first robots you want to make are ones that could probably make robots. The first, I guess not the first, but like what you eventually want to get to is AI being able to code itself, or AI being able to like iterate on itself to then improve itself, which, kind of speeds things up. Software engineering is like the first, kind of thing to write code, because that's what machine learning is, among other things. But yeah, you get the point. OpenAI claims the full GPT 4.1 model outperforms its 4.0 and GPT 4.0 mini models on coding benchmarks, including Software Engineer Bench. GPT 4.1 Mini and Nano are said to be more efficient and faster at the cost of some accuracy, with OpenAI saying GPT 4.1 Nano is its speediest and cheapest model ever. Yeah, let's look at the pricing. GPT 4.1 costs $2 per million input tokens and $8 per million output. Okay. I guess for comparison, like Claude is like $5 per million input, like 15 per output or something, like $5 or $6. For a Mini's 40 cents a million. Okay, this is super cheap. I wonder though if it is just like literally only good at coding, or if it's just like a better 4.0 model in general, like base model. According to OpenAI's internal testing, GPT-4.1, which can generate more tokens at once than GPT-4o, interesting, scored between 52% and 54.6% on software bench verified, a human validated subset of the software engineer bench. OpenAI noted in a blog post that some of the solutions to the software engineer bench verified problems couldn't run on its infrastructure, hence the range of scores. Okay. I think benchmarks are kind of just like whatever at this point. Like they're just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Those figures are slightly under the scores reported by Google and Anthropic for Gemini 2.5 Pro and 3.7 Sonnet. Yeah, and I saw the benchmark scores and like it was far under the other one. So I was like, that's why I was like, okay, they're claiming it's better, but it's actually worse than the other models. But if benchmarks don't matter, then like this, it's like, I don't even know. What should we code? What should we have it code for us in the background? Let's go GPT-4.1. There we go. Let's go. Make a website using Astro. I like Astro, my framework of choice. Using Astro. Actually, let's go even simpler. Make a website using HTMX, Alpine, JS, and Tailwind. Backed by... Do I have Dino installed? Bun? Do I have Bun installed still? Bun run. Okay, cool, we're good. Backed by Bun. I want the website to be able to display my Twitch stream. Twitch.tv / Brady's Brain. And display whether I am live or not. Or we'll go Twitch chat and display whether I am live or not. Keep the theme. Let's go like Y2K industrial with a Unix terminal feel. All right, send it. All right, we're just auto running. We're putting in YOLO mode. It's just gonna run the commands for us. We'll trust it here. Okay, it's going, but we'll come back to it. I just want to make sure I already aired. God damn it. See, this is the problem. Okay, let's see. Oh, did it get it? It got it. Nope. Alright, well, we'll keep that running. You provide more detailed private document with like specifics and it would make it a lot easier. This is just like a shitty prompt I just came up with, but okay, they got it to work. You had to install the Tailwind CLI. Nope. Yeah, environment issues. Bro, this is okay, like no offense, this isn't even that hard. Let's change this. And we're going to use PNPM. Node. We're going to say back by node. We're going to say use PNPM. PNPM. This is just a different package manager. I just hate Node as a package manager. It's just so bloated. Oh, let's try again. So far, it's working. In a separate evaluation, OpenAI probed GPT 4.1 using video MME, which is designed to measure the ability of a model to understand content in videos. GPT 4.1 reached a chart-topping 72% accuracy on the long, no subtitles video category, claims OpenAI. While GPT 4.1 scores reasonably well on benchmarks and it has a more recent knowledge cutoff, giving it a better frame of reference for current events up to June 2024, which is still like old. Like, that's almost a year old now. It's like, you know, it's important to keep in mind that even some of the best models today struggle with tasks that wouldn't trip up experts. For example, many studies have shown that code generating models often fail to fix and even introduce security vulnerabilities and bugs. Yeah. I mean, like, it's already hung up, like, on just fucking, like, initializing the repository, you know, the project. But again, like, I didn't put much effort in the prompt. Like, usually it's like you do some more to it. But OpenAI acknowledges too that GPT 4.1 becomes less reliable, i.e. likelier to make mistakes, the more input tokens it has to deal with. On one of the company's own tests, OpenAI MRCR, the model's accuracy decreased from around 84% with 8,000 tokens to 50% with 1 million tokens. Holy shit. Literally a dice roll. GPT 4.1 also tended to be more literal than GPT 4.0, saying the company sometimes necessitating more specific, explicit prompts. Interesting. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what other, like, more people who, like, use it for coding things think, but it seems like they're just kind of releasing things just to stay ahead, even though, like, the products might not actually be, like, better necessarily. I don't know. This just doesn't seem like that crazy of a release. Like, it's not like they're solving a new problem. There's, like, also something about, like, AI models being more you know, the dynamic between the user of the model and the company who made it, it's very, like, smoke showy right now, especially with, I feel like that's what benchmarks kind of, like, allow them to do. It's like, as long if they do good on the benchmarks, quote unquote, because, like, the benchmarks, they could kind of game it in a way. There's been already people coming out saying that we need better new benchmarks because the AI just, like, has the answer to the benchmark in their training data or just in their model itself, and so it could just answer them. But it's kind of like there's not much incentive for the AI companies to create new benchmarks, because then it's going to make it look like they're not doing as well. But also, the models they release may not actually be specifically better, and it's more about feel, which, you know, they might want that so that they could kind of sell it to you in a way, I guess. Like, they said that this is, like, GPT 4.1 is, like, better at coding, but it's the only thing we have to go off of is people doing it and trying it themselves, which is very subjective and very circumstantial. And it's the benchmarks, of which you might not ever really get to see what the actual benchmarks are. Like, they said, like, oh, we can't run it on our infrastructure. It's like, okay. So then they just score lower, but it's just like, I don't know. It just seems weird, but the dynamic doesn't really seem to be favorable towards the consumer, I guess. I mean, I guess you like, in some instances, yeah, but, like, the AI companies have the leverage, I guess. I don't know. I guess this just kind of seems, GPT 4.1 just kind of seems a whatever, like, release. It's just very incremental, if it is even better. I think 3.7, Cloud 3.7 Sonnet is a good example of like, it's probably better. It might be better, but like people are experiencing like it coding like a lot worse. Specifically, it might be specific to Cursor, but still. Okay, it's still hung up too, so I can't skip and continue because we need to initiate the repository. Hello? Okay. Bro, I've covered like 2 stories this entire stream so far. We're 2 hours in. I'm not going to cover this anymore. This is like, yeah, interesting. Yeah, just some space news, I guess. Taiwan's first dedicated satellite was Astranus, which we've looked at Astranus on stream. Maybe not. High orbits matter. There's actually several space companies that I want to cover on upcoming streams. There's one called like, it's like a data, I can't remember if we've covered on stream yet, a Star Cloud. Yeah, we'll cover that. We'll look at this too. Yeah, this where it's like a data center in space, but wait for it. This is how it's powered. This is solar. It's literally 4 kilometers, like, like miles long of solar for this tiny ass. Like this is so interesting. But I can't remember if I covered this on stream. I feel like I didn't, but I want to cover these guys. But Astranus might be another one too. We need like a startup folder. Called like not a space. Where's this one? Oh yeah. Move this to startups companies and we'll go space. Okay. Yeah, this is cool though. I mainly just want to cover Astranus. That's what I was like. Yeah, Japan wags finger at Google. Let's look at the RTX 5060. We actually might cover this one tomorrow. And with this. And the Siri, maybe. I have a few videos we're gonna watch after this. And they'll probably end after that. Okay, 5060 Ti arrives on April 19th, starting at $379. This like just seems kind of whatever, because can even get? I'm freezing right now. Can you even get like any other higher end like 5080 or 5090? Like, can I go on Amazon right now? I don't actually want to search. I don't want. Here, let me. 5090 Founders Edition. That's the best one. So you can't buy these. No Founders Edition though. Kind of sucks. That's usually what I always get. Bro, $400, bro. This is a down payment on a car. You can't get the Founders Editions though. Like, bro, they only have the 5090 and 5080 on here. I feel like the rollout has just kind of been botched. Oh, let me turn the AC off for a back. April 16th, that's tomorrow. RTX 5060 family GPUs today, just a day before it releases the RTX 5060 Ti on April 16th. Okay, that's why I was confused. Wait. When I was putting this in the, I think I put it in the my Twitch title, I was like, do I put Ti or 60? I didn't really get it. Two variants of the RTX 5060 are launching: the $379 8GB of VRAM model and the $429 16GB VRAM model. The $299 RTX 5060 will launch at some point in May with 8GB of VRAM. I guess in terms of like AI, like this isn't that much. That's what I was kind of thinking. I have a 3080 right now. I don't know what. I have 26 gigs. Oh wait, 3080 found. No, I just have a normal 3080. Ten gigabytes. That's not that much. Comparing to like 16 gigs seems like actually a pretty reasonable jump. I guess it's more so just the compute power. There's no way 5060 raw compute, fucking no bullshit, AI generated frames, whatever, neural frames, nuh-uh. Sorry, Jensen. Got us all excited until we look at the details. I say this as Nvidia's like my largest stock holding. Yeah. I still think that 5060 like just doesn't. Oh, here we go. I wish they compared it to others, like 3060. Bro, look at like. Oh, this is latency. That's bad. Okay. I was like, wait, what? Okay, here we go. Frame rate. Is this DLSS though? Max settings, DLSS quality mode. Max frame gen level supported by each game. So yeah, they have the frame generation maxed out. Oh yeah, 4x frame generation, is that what they're calling it? See, like this just isn't, you gotta compare it not with the frame generation. I like, as someone who's like trying to become this content creator, it's like I use it for streaming. Like right now I'm using 30% of my GPU because like, encode, transcode, whatever on OBS. I use the local AI workloads. I use video rendering. Like it's a lot of other things are not just gaming. I also game, but I would still want something that is like it's just a workstation computer. Like that is still valuable to have just like a good graphics card, because a lot of stuff is offloaded to that hardware rendering, I guess. The RTX 5060 will ship with 4608 CUDA cores, a 2.4 GHz base clock, 2.5 GHz boost clock, yada yada yada. RTX 5060 Ti and RTX 5060 will support DLSS 4 and multi-frame generation, as well as PCIe Gen 5, DisplayPort 2.1. Okay, 180 watts. Okay, yeah. Frame rates for variety games, things mainly to multi-frame generation. Okay, here we go. This is what I just want the like dissenting opinion, I guess, or the other side. While Nvidia is obviously pushing 4x frame gen with these new RTX 5060 cards, there will be also be performance improvements to rasterization. It does in a game that doesn't support multi-frame gen, you'll see about 20 to 25% performance improvements gen over gen on RTX 5060. So 20%, that's like actually pretty significant. From like a 4060 to a 3060, like a 20 to 25%, that's like a solid like new generation jump. Like that's actually not that bad. NVIDIA's senior director of GeForce product management, you'll see about 20% in the RTX 5060 Ti. I think though the what's been happening is that they say this, and then when it, you know, the Linus Tech Tips and Gamers Nexus or whoever like actually test it, it's not what they said is the problem. So this is the Ti, okay. NVIDIA isn't making Founders Editions versions of the RTX 5060 cards, so it won't be able to directly impact the pricing its board partners set this time around with its own cards. That means it'll be very difficult to find an RTX 5060 at $299. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like they're like, hey, the $299 is like, okay, but you're not actually selling the Founders Edition, which is what the price matches. You're gonna give it to the vendors who are then just gonna upcharge do all their other shit to it. Upcharge it for adding like RGB lights and like a cool plastic thing around it. Especially in the uncertainties around Trump's tariff situation that change almost daily. Yeah, and that too. That said, the pricing might not be the only uncertain aspect of these new cards. The choice to offer 8 GB of VRAM will be controversial, I'm sure. We are trying to optimize price and performance, says Walker. When you get a GPU like the RTX 5060, you have to look really hard at trade-offs. I wonder what the 4060 has. I guess it also has 8 GB. NVIDIA argues that VRAM doesn't have a big impact on GPU performance and it optimizes for pricing with the RTX series, but we're still regularly seeing games consume a lot of memory, which really impacts 8 GB cards. Yeah, but those are like... Actually, I can't say it. I don't have the right view on the gaming market because I don't really play many AAA games. I play a lot of like smaller indie games. Yeah, I mean, oh, you can't see it, but yeah, my last play game was Terraria Spilled, which is actually a really cozy game. Buckshot Roulette, RimWorld. I don't know. I don't need a fucking crazy GPU for those. But if you're playing like Call of Duties, like the big single player games, those, you know, a bit more graphic intensive, so it makes sense. I play like Battlefield 2042 though. Like Battlefield games performance though have always been like relatively fine. It's usually they're like buggy is the problem. Like Frostbite engine is pretty good. I'm sure it actually is dog shit when you compare it, but I don't know. I've had pretty good experience with it. And I only recently got 3080. I've had a 1080 Ti for years, and that survived for a long time. RTX 2060 was $350, and that was years ago, says Walker. The RTX 3060 was $329, and I bet even if you look back and did the inflation math of the RTX 1660 and the RTX 1060, I think you'll find that $299 for a GPU is a pretty good price. Okay. But we'll see if they're actually $299, though, is the problem. Pricing and VRAM debates aside, the RTX 5060 will also be available in laptops in May, with pricing starting at $1,100. Asus, Dell, Gigabyte, HP, Lenovo, MSI, Razer all have models with the NVIDIA latest RTX 5060 laptop GPUs. Interesting. Yeah, I guess I will have to just wait and see really Linus Tech Tips and shit to actually get one in their hands and benchmark it and test it themselves. Okay, let me organize these. This was just like propaganda video. All right. This is another space company, Vast. I love their logo. Very simple. I just want to see what they're going after. Cause okay, yeah. The reason I say this is because it says, let me go there. There's another video I saw of them. Yeah, this is the one, also the one I saw. The world's first commercial space station. Like, I swear there's like 5 other companies claiming to be the world's first commercial space station. I mean, like, come on. Let's look at this.
Hi everyone, I'm Drew Foystel, lead astronaut at BAST. Welcome to our Haven 1 spacecraft experience. Come on aboard and I'll lead you into the core.
Already skeptical. I think, okay, I know this is commercial, so like commercial, it's like there's other things, like you actually have to think about like customers and shit, but like okay, let's just keep watching. My point was like, it seems like any space company that focuses on like aesthetics before they've even launched something into space is just like wasting money. If you've never launched a thing into space, like that should be your first goal, is just to get something up there to get data and be testing, instead of being like, oh, like what color trim should we put? It's like, bro, fucking metal, white. I don't know. There's a lot of, this could be like an interesting like deep dive, but I feel like there's a lot of space startups who have large claims but have actually, and like have raised a lot of money, and they keep pushing back dates of actually doing things because of delays, whatever. And they never actually have the product or have any sort of like testing or whatever in space. And just like, bro, when is it going to happen? Like, you're promising this like crazy things, but like you still, I know there's a lot of like testing on the ground and shit, but like, I don't know. It's similar to, I think it's just emerging technologies. It's similar with AI, where like they promise large things in hope, like not necessarily knowing for certain that it will come to fruition, but you kind of have to do that to like sell the vision and like get people like to buy in. But I think that there's definitely like a scale of too much hype that is borderline lying and like being practical about what you could actually achieve. That's like the main thing that I've been like, I feel like my position I bring is like, sometimes I feel like the hype men ruin things for the rest of us. So
This is the hatch that allows us to rendezvous and dock with the SpaceX Crew Dragon vehicle.
okay, so they're taking a SpaceX approach. Bro, this font, like, I love the design. I'm just like super into this like wide, like sci-fi-esque design right now.
Here we have our crew interface display, and on the sides of the corridor is stowage for equipment, payloads, supplies, and food.
Okay, like like it's gonna be like floating around, right? Like this is gonna be in space.
A little further on, we have our crew.
I guess like they just like I know this is a demonstration. They just like threw shit in the cupboard, like bro, it's gonna be floating.
For sleeping, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom.
Wow. Wait, are they gonna show it? Or not?
And moving into the crew common area, where we house our 10 mid-deck equipment payload.
Bro, is this fucking voiced over afterwards? Stripped of all non-essentials, dude. Fucking. The more I think about this, the more I just don't know if like this is gonna work. Weight is. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Where we house our 10 display, and on the sides of the corridor is stowage for equipment, payloads, supplies. Top, 2 on the bottom.
It sounds like it's like this sound just sounds funny.
And moving into the crew common area, where we house our 10 mid-deck equipment payload lockers for flying experiments and research to space. And the best part about the crew common area is the vast Haven 1 domed window.
So is this what they just showed us here? Okay, let's watch their update video, because I think this will maybe like answer some questions that I'm saying that I have. So this is still hung up. I'm just... Looks fancy. I don't understand what they're doing. Or I guess I thought there'd be like someone talking. This is also a pattern I've noticed with like looking at a lot of these space companies is I know that and it says like by Vast, and it seems like they're working with other companies, but they're doing everything in-house, it seems like. And I do wonder if there's just like a space services company that can be created that essentially is just sourcing, like there has to exist, like just sourcing specific requirements for like what you want to build, and then like getting either building that yourself so then you could resell and like like do that as your business, or you could find a vendor to then make it for you, but then you're kind of the like owner of like the actual product, and you could resell it to other space companies. Like Rocket Labs does a full, they do everything, so like they'll build your satellite for you, but I'm talking about coming to just like a specific like vertical. I did like vertical, but I was like horizontal. So it's just like vertical that only does that. There has to be. But just I guess I've just noticed that a lot of space companies are developing their own like avionics, engines, thrusters, etc. And it's not like, I don't know, I guess the space economy is still in its early days, so. Incinerator. Yeah, like a battery? Like, do they really have to invent the wheel for a battery? I guess that's kind of like the point where it's like, there has to just be someone who's like, oh, I can find a battery that could fit exactly your needs and in there, and I can get it for cheap, Like, do they need to reinvent the wheel? Domed window. This thing is way bigger than I thought. I will say it's huge. Like, I just feel like, especially with how expensive, relatively speaking, it is to launch things into space, that like spending valuable weight on like wood paneling and shit just like doesn't seem like a good use. I don't know. Qualification, all right, that's cool. This thing is way bigger than I thought. It's got these like tanks here. It's also just more oddly shaped than I would have thought too. Oh, there we go. Wonder where this is at. Like Mojave Desert or some shit. Like all the planes back here. This is at an airport. Interesting. Oh, I actually feel like, is this separate from this? This is like something else. Cool. All right, we didn't really like learn much though from that video, if I'm being honest. But okay, we'll have to. I'm just gonna keep logging like all these like space, all these startups though. Especially space is like the third one. And like the world's first commercial space station. I swear that's like what? No. That's what Blue Origin in like Orbital Reef. We've looked at this several times. Yeah. This is the commercial space station too. Destinations, like bro, you're this, is this like some sort of scam or some shit, bro? I mean like sorry. This is a video interactive platform. If you want to chat, like go to Reddit or some shit, like. Okay. Let's watch this one. I kind of just like my feed on YouTube for Brady's Brain is like it's like perfectly tuned to like the content on stream. It's like emerging technologies, game trailers, cool tech shit. Like a lot of like military contracting, like military stuff. Like look at all this. Right up the stream's alley. Okay. Let's watch this. This is like some sort of like holographic 3D screen type of thing, like. Oh, it's moving like that? What the fuck? What? That's actually... What? That's so strange. The like rig they have running this is also sick. Like, what? Oh, I see. That's so interesting. I guess like if you like kind of think about holographic displays now, it's usually like something spinning really quick or it's something moving quick, but it's like you can't touch it, you know, like you touch your fucking fingers are probably gonna get chopped off. This is interesting. And it's interesting because it also is like physical. It's not like a projection of something that when you touch, it's not like you're like touching the air, like the, you know, table or some shit. It's like an actual like thing that's just moving really quick. That's so crazy. That's interesting. I'm trying to think of like use cases for this though. Like it's kind of so they've tested different materials. Using speakers? That's interesting. Wow. Yeah, what, like, I guess like a display, but like some sort of 3D display. Like the quality's still like not there yet, but I don't know. Maybe like looking at like a doctor showing like someone like their brain, but like that exists already. Like you just have a computer. Like this is just a cooler way to do it. The hand and the virtual objects. Interesting. Selection, tracing, docking. But like this is literally just like, yeah, menu navigation. Like this is like the ultimate sci-fi, like, you know, like UI, just like you're like, you know, like doing shit like. Cute pets. Oh, okay. Oh, bro, it's like, come on, guys. Like the potential application, you start off with cute pets. Menu navigation's way more practical. Like, this is my pet. My pet bee. Eerie ones. It's like, ah. Entertainment, just like AI, I think emerging technology, like entertainment is always an easy use case for like emerging technology. I mean, it makes sense to entertainment, but like I think it's like what are you gonna like have this thing like always running? You're gonna like come and like flip it on. It's like, ooh, it's probably hell. I wonder how loud it is. It has to be loud. It's like, ooh, it's like starting up. Like, fuck. Is that why they use the bee? Because it's like humming. It's like buzzing already. They're like adding sound effects. This is cool though. This is actually cool. Reach through interactions. True 3D graphics without forcing users to wear headsets or glasses. Or something that will chop your finger off. Cool. Okay, then we got some other, we got tiny hopping robots. We covered, we watched the, what did we watch? The ornithopter, like from Drone. Someone made like a small version of that. Like essentially just a bird that could flap its wings, like a remote control RC bird that could flap its wings and fly. Which is kind of like, it was cool, but like it was a toy. Like they're selling it as a toy. This is like another level just because of how small it is, but I'm curious what it actually is. Tiny hopping robots. MIT has like such good like
insect scale.
They're always coming with weird ass robot designs.
Robots have size on their side, allowing them to squeeze into places that larger counterparts can't. However, tiny crawling robots might encounter obstacles on the ground they cannot overcome. And while aerial robots can avoid these hazards, the amount of energy required for flight could limit how far they can travel before needing to recharge. Offering an alternative, a team of researchers at MIT has developed a hopping robot that can leap over obstacles and jump across slanted or uneven surfaces.
Bro, that was sick, bro. They had another drone holding up this thing. Oh my gosh, bro. Can you imagine like drone swarms, especially tiny drones? It's like nanobots. It could constantly be moving around, like making bridges and gaps and like solving problems for other robots to like continue their use. Like it's just like some robot like walking and then just like goes to like walk off a cliff, but some like robot comes, like other drone robot comes over and like saves it. It's like
surfaces while using far
that's
less
so
energy
cool.
than an aerial robot of comparable size. This hopping robot,
Less energy.
which is smaller than a human thumb and weighing less than a paperclip, has a springy leg that propels it off the ground and 4 flapping wings that give it lift and control its orientation. The robot can jump up
That's
to
so
4
crazy.
times its height and has no trouble hopping across ice, wet surfaces, and uneven
That's cool.
soil. The key to the hopping robot's performance is a fast control mechanism that determines how the robot should be oriented for its next jump.
Interesting.
Sensing is performed using an external motion tracking system, and an algorithm computes the necessary control information using sensor measurements.
I mean, that's probably downside, and like it can't do that. It has to offload that because probably can't have all the compute necessary on this tiny ass device. This is interesting. I don't.
As the robot
Yeah, this is crazy.
internal motion tracking system, and an algorithm computes the necessary control information using sensor measurements. As the robot hops, it arcs in the air. At the peak of this arc, it estimates its landing point. Based on this target landing point, the controller calculates the desired takeoff velocity for the next jump. Meanwhile, the robot...
I actually imagine a lot of the problem that they are solving is like they need to have externals probably, like they said, like it needs to do like these adjustments before it lands that know its orientation for the next jump.
Robot flaps its wings to adjust its orientation, ensuring it strikes.
And it's so interesting that they use wings instead of like maybe like a bearing or like a gyroscope type of thing. Like, that's probably too heavy and maybe too much compute.
Ground at the correct angle and axis to move in the proper direction and at the right speed. The researchers tested the hopping robot and its control mechanism on a variety of surfaces. It successfully traversed all of them, including a surface that was dynamically tilting. Since the controller can handle multiple terrain,
That's impressive.
the robot can easily transition from one surface to another. And due to its small size and light weight, the robot has an even smaller moment of inertia, which makes it more agile and better able to withstand collisions. Moving forward, the researchers plan to install batteries, sensors.
Bro, they need microscopes to work on this thing? Oh god, that's probably like so rough. Look how thin that wire is.
The robot has an even smaller moment of inertia, which makes it more agile and better able to withstand collisions. Moving forward, the researchers plan to install batteries, sensors, and other circuits directly onto the robot in the hope of enabling it to hop autonomously outside the lab.
That's cool. Cool. Someone says, what if you made a human size, put a moped motor on top and a hopper with seeds in it? It could be used to plant seeds on a mountain to reforest areas. Thing like hopping like goosh, goosh, and like it plants every time. That just seems very inefficient though. We literally have a drone that could just fly over and drop seeds and it plants them. Like we already have that. Like why? Yeah, one of the places that's fun to see solutions to problems that don't exist. Yeah, but that's the point of, you know, it's research. That's cool. This is a cool video though. Cool project. This is we'll watch this tomorrow. I don't this is out of scope of today's stream, but we've talked about this Neo. Yeah, Neo. We've covered them on stream before, and they've kind of been putting out some videos, but yeah, I'm just like a little skeptical. Yeah, and like even like yeah. Anyway, so we'll watch this tomorrow probably. I think I saved it to yeah, we have it saved, so we'll cover this tomorrow. Okay, let's watch these two game trailers that I thought were neat. And probably not this one. I don't know what this one is. But this one, and then we'll end here. Robot related aggro nom. It's like scratching his butt. It's on the comments. I mean, it looks like some sort of automation game. Like, can you show like gameplay? Like, I'd rather just see someone like playing the game. Let's check it on Steam. Their website is Farm build automate robots to create Martian paradise for Grams Makar and Agronom. Cyber Mages. It's a cool studio name. Looks neat. Request to join the playtest. Oh, Cyber Mages. That's what their I was wondering what their website was. Mages. It's cool. I mean, it looks neat, I guess, but don't really show off much. What's this one? Thorium Publishing. I love that font.
Let's start from the top. Name's Caroline, 27 years old, arms enthusiast, full-time mercenary, and girlfriend to a wonderful man named Athens Fetter.
Ooh, I love the graphic style already. I love this like flat 2D pixel art. Oh, it seems like a shooter type. Kind of like System Shock graphics. Ooh. Center gun. Was not expecting this. Like Dune, Quake-esque. Or Doom, not Doom, sorry. Music is very Doom-esque too. It's like Futurama vibes as well. It's kind of like the futuristic. Oh, left early access yesterday. Like a bullet hell. Although the UI is kind of like this UI is kind of hard to parse. No, it's all right. What the? They're a fest. Oh, this Sarah Fest. Butcher the name. It is. Actually, like, I guess it's been in early access, but like, oh, it's done all right. They made anything else? Fulcrum Publishing. Okay, this is like a big publisher. They publish a lot of games. I haven't really heard of any of these. Acid Man Games. This is my boomstick. Oh, it's a bundle. Alright, they first game. So interesting. Looks neat actually. Looks cool. Not really my kind of game, I guess, but still looks neat. Alright, that's gonna do it for today's stream. Appreciate everyone showing up and tuning in. Subscribe if you're new. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, and we'll cover some more tech news. Probably cover some leftover stories from yesterday, and then we might look at some earnings, if there is any, but it doesn't really seem like there's been much. But yeah, back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific. Hang out and talk some news. I'm sure some shit will be happening. some new AI product released or something. So, yeah. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific. See ya. Oh, I don't have my end thing here. Bye.